We are finally officially in the growing season of 2025, and y'all know what that means. It is time to do a spring plant tour. That's right, I'm gonna be taking you through my entire collection and showing you each and every single one of my plants. This is probably my favorite video to film, so I hope you will really enjoy this video. Grab yourself a cozy little drink, a little snack, and let's just get into it. So I like to do a plant tour at the beginning and the end of the growing season, just so I can really see how my plants did. And spoiler alert, a lot of my plants didn't do well over the winter months because obviously winter is colder, the days are shorter, there is less sun, and we've had quite a rough winter over here. It has been very cold, very foggy, and my plants definitely suffered. And on top of all of that, I kind of wasn't satisfied with the state of my collection, so I actually restarted a lot of my plants, and I moved a lot of plants from soil to pond, which obviously winter isn't the best time to do those things, but now they're all set up, they're all ready to go, and hopefully they will manage to take full advantage of the growing season. The majority of my plants is grown up here in my studio space. This is an attic space. I have a couple of plants in my bedroom, but I would say like 90% of my collection lives up here. I grow all of my plants in ambient. I don't like cabinets, I don't like tents, so everything is out in the open. And let's just get to it. I'm gonna grab the camera, turn you around, and we will go plant by plant. We're gonna start with this area over here. This is a east facing window, and usually these blinds are obviously up and the plants are actually facing the window, but because I want to actually show you the plants, I had to pull the blinds down because otherwise it will be very backlit. This is a small IKEA Vitscho unit. Usually the top piece is actually fake wood like on the bottom, but I had an extra glass piece from my other Vitscho shelf setup that I put on here because I think it just looks a lot more sleek and chic, and also a lot more light can actually pass through the glass. So starting off strong, we have my little Burley Mox's Flame. She is such a cutie patootie. This is very much a baby plant. I have grown this leaf, and now this newest leaf in my care, and she's doing fine. She's doing well. Obviously, these are known as pretty slow growers, so I don't expect much from her, but I am excited to own this plant. This was a big wishlist plant for me, and obviously these have come down in price significantly. Like nowadays, you can pick one up for like 30-40 bucks, where in the past you would have to pay a lot of money for one of these. Next to her, we have a plant that I restarted during the winter months, and this is my Epipremnum pinnatum albo, and I haven't even seen how big this leaf is. Damn, okay, it is a little bit wonky, but that's okay. Gives it a little bit more personality. Now, I did move this plant from soil to semi-hydro, and I'm just really excited to try a lot of my plants in semi-hydro. So far, some of them did really well, and some of them didn't do so well, but honestly, for me, it's all kind of a learning experience, and a lot of the joy in this hobby comes from just trying out things and seeing what works for you and seeing what doesn't. So yeah, she lives in semi-hydro. So far, so good. Next to her, we have another plant that I restarted, and she is not looking great. This is my Philodendron Splendid, which is a Melanochrysum verrucosum mix hybrid. Not mix, hybrid. That's the word that I was looking for. Anyway, she lives in soil, and I restarted her. She was growing up a wire moss pole, but I got rid of all of my wire moss poles because I just got really tired of them. So now I have all of these just plastic closed back moss poles that I love, and she is finally pushing out a new leaf. This plant has been in standby mode for a couple of months, but I get it. She was obviously adjusting to new pans. I also removed like all of her previous roots, so she just needed some time to settle, but hopefully she will start growing again. I mean, this is a pretty robust philodendron, and philodendron hybrids in general are very, very hardy, but this is one of the hardier ones in my opinion. Next to that, we have my Enjoy Puffos also climbing on a moss pole. And if you can see over here, her stem isn't actually in the soil because this bottom part of the stem rotted, so she was mainly supported by the moss pole, but now some of the moss pole roots did root into the soil and she's just growing happy as a clam. I really, really like this plant. The color is stunning with the white variegation. It's more of like a cream variegation, which I definitely prefer. I'm not a fan of those like stark white variegated leaves. Like this is really pretty, very balanced variegation. Now, of course, because it is like quite variegated, it is a slower grower, but it is a puffos. So honestly, no troubles there. Next to it, we have a plant that has been really, really catching my attention lately, and that is my Philodendron Soderoy. And I had a lot of trouble actually growing this plant, or not even growing it, but sizing it up. I had quite a bit of trouble sizing it up from these like small juvenile leaves. And obviously this is still not like full maturity. As you can see, like these can get pretty freaking massive, but for me, this is the biggest I managed to get it, and I am happy. And again, this is a plant that I restarted and I put it into semi-hydro, and honestly, she has been happy as a clam, growing in semi-hydro, had no complaints, and obviously giving me beautiful lush growth. On this lower shelf, this is kind of like a work in progress. None of this is like complete or final, but we have my Hoya Silver Dollar finally starting to grow. This thing hasn't grown for me in months, but finally she is starting to grow and I'm very, very excited for her. Next to her, we have my Hoya Paradisia. Now this leaf over here looks a little wonk and I don't know why. I think she might have spider mites, or not spider mites, flat mites. I don't have a microscope and I don't think I will ever buy one, but yeah. So I don't know if she has flat mites or not. It is what it is. I'm just gonna see, and I'm just gonna wait and see how she will do in the future. Next to her, we have a Hoya Lacunosa White Pearl. Very, very cute. Very, very kind of like your standard Lacunosa Hoya, but with a bit of a twist. Then back here we have a problem child. This is my Ficus triangularis. And honestly, she is this close to meeting her creator, because this plant doesn't want to grow for me. And I don't know. I recently, or like a couple months ago, I put it into semi-hydro. I recently up-potted it into a bigger pot because she did have a good enough root system, but for some reason, she's just not growing, although this pot gets quite a lot of sun. Like I mentioned, these are east-facing windows, and it gets light till like 1 p.m. every single morning, when, of course, when it's a sunny morning. Next to her, we have another plant that I had to restart because this one actually rotted, which is very, very sad, and that is my variegated Pice Lily, and I'm just trying to regrow her in semi-hydro because I have been really, really obsessed with semi-hydro, and obviously peace lilies are quite thirsty plants, and I find that semi-hydro is really, really amazing for those thirsty, high water demanding plants. On the lower shelf, we have my Aglaonema pictum tricolor, looking absolutely beautiful. This is another plant that I recently transitioned into semi-hydro. I can't see any roots really, but she is growing, which hopefully means that she is happy. I didn't really have any issues with her. She was fine in soil, but I just wanted to try something new, so yeah. Next to her, we have another bit of a problem child, I would say. This is my Hoya Croniana Super Silver. Not looking particularly silver right now. This thing croaked on me twice. And now I'm just trying to restart it and regrow it in semi-hydro. Some of the vines did die off, unfortunately, but some of them also did take. So hopefully she will be fine in here. And hopefully I'll be able to get her back to a beautiful lush state, because this plant at a point was really, really big, really stunning, was blooming, and yeah. Now we're back to square one, which is fine. That's fine. Then over here I have my Hoya Thompsonii, which I love so much. Like I love a fuzzy leaf. That is probably one of my favorite features in a plant. And this plant, I mean, this plant is just, it's fuzzy. It's as fuzzy as it gets, which I love. Haven't had any issues with her thus far, and I hope it will stay that way. Then over here we have a Clarinervium pup. Not gonna talk much about her because I will show you my big mother plant. Okay, so moving right along, we have this monstrosity over here, which is my Albo Monstera, and she is living under a Growgang Pianta 18-watt grow light. This grow light installation happened, I would say about 2-3 months ago, and she spit out all of these 3 leaves under that grow light, which hopefully means that the grow light is good enough and, you know, providing the plant with enough light. We will see. I mainly installed the grow light because, as you can maybe see down here, I had these like really big, huge leaves, and then she started to really just downsize her leaves. And I'm not sure if it's due to the lack of support or due to the lack of light. I think it's because of the light, which is why I installed that grow light. So fingers crossed she gets back to her magnificent big self, because these leaves are so stunning and my specimen is really, really gorgeous. It has stunning variegation. Now, moving on to the main attraction of my studio. This is my giant Vitcho shelf. So these are IKEA Vitcho shelves. There are 3 units in here, and I just kind of modified them to fit my needs. And obviously this whole setup was very much inspired by Wild Fern. I love her. She is my favorite planty creator, and I love her aesthetic. I love her style. I love everything about her. So I definitely was inspired to do this setup by her, and I absolutely love it. This is where the majority of my plants live, and they are all supported by Barina 16-watt grow lights. And I mean, it just looks so sleek, so chic, and I love it. Okay, let's get to the plants. Over in this corner, we have my Neon Pothos, and she's so long. Absolutely love this plant. Gives me zero grief, grows like a weed, and just looks stunning and doesn't require like a ton of light, which I love. Next to her is my golden child. I talk about this plant all the time because it seriously is just, it's just so beautiful. This is my Hoya linearis. Absolutely love this plant, and whenever I'm feeling stressed, whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed by anything in my life, I just give this plant a nice little pet. It is so soft. It's so nice and so tactile, and like I mentioned with the Thompsonii, I just love a tactile, textured plant. And I mean, the growth pattern on it, the way it just sits on that shelf and just like lays there perfectly. I mean, it's absolute chef's kiss. Top 5 plants in my collection, without a doubt. Next to her, we have a small little Hoya gracilis. This is a plant that I restarted from some cuttings because the mother plant rotted. But yeah, nothing to report on her. She is just, you know, getting started. She did recently start to grow, so that's great. Then over here we have my Anthurium Wendelingeri, and oh god, this plant, y'all. For some reason, I have troubles with this plant when it comes to growing new leaves or keeping them nice, because This plant, I think I ruined 2 leaves. Then this last one just, I don't know, did this business for some reason. So I don't know, but I mean, she is absolutely stunning. I love, love, love strappy anthuriums, so I can't complain too much about her. She hasn't given me an inflow yet, and if you don't know, the Wendellingeri has a really, really cool inflow. It's kind of like, whee, it's kind of like a spiral, so looking forward to that. Looking forward to see if the like inflow will even spiral, because apparently not all Wendellingeri inflows spiral like that. So yeah, we will just have to see. Then over here we have my beautiful Hoya Crimson Princess. See, she is so lush, so stunning, so just such a showstopper, such a attention grabber, and she grows like a weed, gives me no grief, is very, very low maintenance. If you're looking for a good, reliable, low-maintenance, bushy Hoya, I recommend the Crimson Princess, because she is top tier, okay? Top tier, y'all. Down here, under this cloche, we have a Anthurium warocquianum, or the Queen Anthurium, which I am, again, a plant that I'm restarting. I bought mine last fall. It was stunning, beautiful, gorgeous, big, but this plant is an absolute drama queen, and of course she lost all of her leaves. They all yellowed, and I was like, well, shit. So I'm restarting her from wet stick propagations. I have a couple more in my prop box, but yeah, this one I am restarting in Pawn. And then back here we have a Alocasia Maharani, recently also got transitioned into semi-hydro. Not much to report on her, she is still getting settled, but this is a very, very beautiful plant. I love the color of this plant. I'm a sucker for any kind of silver plant, so love her very, very much. Then down here we have my Hoya australis Lisa, and recently I upgraded her trellis. I put an additional little clear trellis on her so she can start climbing that as well. This definitely is a plant that does require a trellis. Also, this is a plant that loves to just drop its leaves. Sometimes I will just find random leaves dropped on the floor or on the shelf, and it just happens. I just kind of deal with it. I can see another one down there, but she is a very, very stunning Hoya. Next to her is a plant that I struggled with for quite some time, and I am happy to report that I finally think I figured her out. This is the Schismatoglottis Silver Borneo, and I love this leaf texture. Again, a silver plant. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff, so I love her, but I struggle with her quite a bit, and I always have issues with spider mites on her. I had issues with the leaves just melting, but ever since transitioning it into semi-hydro, I have been having a lot more success with her, so that makes me very, very happy. Then we have another one of my favorites, the apple of my eye. Probably, again, top 5 in my whole collection, which is my Anthurium clarinervium. I mean, just look at her. She is stunning. She is so bushy. She has so many leaves. This is an Anthurium that really holds onto her leaves. Now, she has been attacked by spider mites recently, unfortunately, so you can see some of the damage on the leaves. But honestly, even with all the damage, she is just such a trooper. She is such a hardy plant. You can underwater this thing. It doesn't require special humidity. It is just such a good grower, and it constantly has a new leaf on the way. Like, it's literally working on a new leaf right now. Like, look how stinking cute that is. So I absolutely love this plant. Absolutely 10 out of 10, no complaints on my part. And then on the lower shelf, we have, this lower shelf is kind of like a rehab situation, if I'm being completely honest, but there are some pretty plants over here. So first up, we have my Scindapsus trubii nearly black, And this is a plant that I ignore quite a lot. Like, I don't do much to it, but it is very bushy, very dark, very dusty, very, very dusty, but really such a beautiful, waxy, cool plant. And honestly, one of the easier scindapsuses in my collection. I find that scindapsuses, they aren't necessarily hard, but they don't do a whole lot of anything. So yeah, this one is just, it's stable, it's here, it's working. Then down here we have a bit of a sad update. This is my Alocasia watsoniana. I bought this plant recently, and I even have a video where I repotted it, but unfortunately, like, the plant itself when I bought it just wasn't looking very healthy and the roots weren't looking great. I transitioned it into semi-hydro, but it just wasn't doing good, and the plant had like 4 shoots in the planter, so I was like, okay, let me just separate them. Let me separate them in case something happens, in case something dies. I want to have backups. So this is one of the backups, and she is just in pawn, and I'm just waiting to see like a good root system, because right now she just has quite a small root system. So yeah, unfortunately, this is a sad one, but I'm sure I'll be able to recover her and revive her. Again, I think the plant that I received from the plant shop wasn't really healthy to begin with, so... And it's an alocasia, and alocasias are dramatic. But anyway, moving on to another dramatic alocasia. This is my black velvet, growing in semi-hydro. And when I first transitioned this plant into semi-hydro, she was loving it. She was loving life. She was giving me such big, beautiful leaves, and the happy period lasted for quite a bit. But for some reason, now she's just not happy anymore. And I don't know. We will just see. I will just leave her alone. I have a tendency to always want to mess with my plants and always kind of want to investigate the moment something goes wrong. And I just have to give my plants some grace and learn to be patient and just leave them alone and let them be, because I find that when I just leave my plants the hell alone, they do a lot better than when I actually constantly like pitter-patter with them. But an alocasia that doesn't give me a lot of trouble is the Alocasia Silver Dragon. Again, silver-leafed plants, love it so much. I've grown this plant in soil, now I'm growing it in semi-hydro, but she hasn't complained ever. Like, I never had any issues with this plant. I think I had spider mites maybe once, but it was very easily resolved. A thing that I don't like about this plant is that she does often bloom, and I just find that whenever alocasias bloom, it just takes a lot of energy out of the plant, so I'm not a fan of that. Next to her, we have another plant that I'm giving this plant another shot. This is my white princess, and in a video I was talking about how I want to get rid of this plant, and I almost did, but I was like, okay, let me give it one last effort. Let me put it into semi-hydro and see how it will do, because I do think the white princess is a stunning plant, but like all the princesses, wizards, knights, whatever, they are just, in my opinion, kind of difficult, and they like to, their leaves get stuck easily, they get brown spots easily, they are a thrips magnet. So yeah, we will see. This is her last chance, and if she doesn't figure herself out, she is going into the compost. Moving on over to this little section, we have a Hoya Comingiana, which I didn't even notice, but has a new cute little shoot. Is that a spider mite? I think that might be a spider mite. I don't know if you'll be able to tell on the new leaf. I have been dealing with a lot of spider mites lately. It hasn't been like horrible, like I don't have like any horribly infested plants, and I rarely even see any webbing, but they're just everywhere. They're just freaking everywhere. The humidity during the winter time has been miserable, so I think they just like are attacking all of my plants. Next up, we have my begonia white ice, and this is actually a plant that I got in the same order as I did the Alocasia watsoniana, and this one is absolutely thriving. I also transitioned this one into semi-hydro. This is such a thirsty plant. She rooted like this, and she is very, very thirsty. She's also right now in bloom, and I love her cutie little pink blooms. Now they are annoying because they get literally everywhere, but yes, such a beautiful, beautiful begonia. And I'm not really a begonia person, so honestly, this is stunning. This is really, really stunning. Next to that, we have my scalprum, and she finally gave me a nice leaf. I have had this alocasia scalprum for definitely over a year now, and it just never gave me any nice leaves. And now I finally am getting some nice leaves, and they are absolutely stunning. I love this plant. It's just so villainous, so evil, and I absolutely love it. I think this might be a bit too much light for it because it is a little bit yellowy, but I don't know, like I feel like alocasias are kind of difficult when it comes to light, because if you give them too much light, they bleach easily, but if you don't give them enough light, they really just don't grow or don't size up. But yeah, another one that I have in semi-hydro, and she is doing pretty well. Another bit of a rehab plant. God, everything is in the way. There we go. Another rehabby plant that I have is my Apobalus acuminatissima, and she's actually starting to look a little bit better. I know this is quite a hard plant, and again, I'm growing this in semi-hydro because I know that these are very, very thirsty plants, and I know that I wouldn't be able to keep up with the watering requirements if I was growing this in soil. Again, she's kind of like on the struggle bus, but I don't know, hopefully this upcoming growing season she can look stunning and beautiful, because these are very, very beautiful plants. So I'm excited to see how she will do. But on the flip side, although this is quite a finicky plant, I don't have any pest pressure on her, which is amazing. So I never had thrips on her, I never had spider mites on her, and both of those things are pretty much my kryptonite. So yeah, happy about that. Next to her, we have just a tiny, tiny little mixed pot of Philodendron Brazil and Philodendron Lemon Lime. Honestly, I just had like a couple of wet sticks because I threw my previous plants out because they were infested with thrips. And I don't know if I'm gonna keep it. I'm just kind of experimenting with it, putting it in pond. It's doing fine, but it's nothing like to write home about. Then over here, we have another philodendron that I used to struggle with quite a bit. This is my Philodendron tortum, and I was struggling growing this plant in soil, which is kind of funny because I feel like a lot of people say how the tortum is one of the easiest philodendrons, but for me that couldn't be further from the truth. But yeah, hopefully we're turning a new leaf. Speaking of new leaves, this is a new leaf that she just pushed out, and yeah, we will just see how she will do. I really want like a big nice lush tortum because I think they are just really cool. This is my Hoya Crimson Princess or Crimson Queen, sorry. I always get the two confused, but similar to my Crimson Princess, this is such a reliable, such a fast growing Hoya, and something that I absolutely love about this Hoya is that it has the tendency to get these like all white, all cream leaves, and they are pink when they emerge, and it is absolutely stunning. And the best thing about these like all white cream vines is that they actually last. Like these leaves actually last quite a bit. So love her. Speaking of all white, we have my Alocasia Frydek, one of them. This is a baby from my mother plant, and as you can see, she is giving me some all white variegation, which obviously lovely, stunning, loves it. However, this will brown. You can see over here how the white variegation just browns with time. That's normal just because it doesn't contain any chlorophyll. So yeah, this has two plants in here, and this plant right here gave me two white leaves, one after another. So honestly, I don't know about the survival of this plant, but the other one has stunning balanced variegation. Look at that half moon, and then this is the newest leaf. I mean, this is what dreams are made out of. Okay, this is stunning. And my mother plant doesn't have such stunning variegation. So honestly, I don't know why these corms have such gorgeous DNA, but I'm not gonna question it because I absolutely love it. Another plant that I love is my Hoya Bertonier. I think this is actually the Hoya F. Bertonier, but yeah, absolutely stunning. This is such a cool Hoya. It's very, very, not fuzzy, I guess velvety, very, very stunning, very, very easy care, and also a very, very reliable grower, or bloomer, sorry, but also a grower, but a bloomer. And unfortunately, I don't have any active blooms on her right now, but you can see she does have a lot of like peduncles. And yeah, once this thing starts blooming, it constantly blooms, and I love her very, very much. Over here we have my Sansevieria Moonshine, lovely plant. Again, very, very reliable, very easy care. Y'all know Sansevierias, or I guess they're now Dracaenas. Y'all know snake plants, and they are gorgeous. Then over here we have my Marble Queen Puffos growing on a moss pole, gaining some size, absolutely stunning. This is my favorite Puffos at the moment. And I mean, it's just so wild to me that this is a common plant, that you can pick this up for like $5 at your local garden store, because these are truly stunning. I mean, look at that variegation. That is freaking beautiful. And I know so many of us are always focused on like the rare, expensive, new plants, that we often forget about just these types of plants, these plants that are super commonly available but are still absolutely stunning. And I love her. She's growing up on a moss pole. I do need to do an extension on her, so that's probably going to be happening in an upcoming video. Down here we have another little rehab or restart situation. This is my my brain. What are you called? It's a Warshawitzi, but it's like, what's the genus? Calafia, or Geopersia. I never know how to say it. Anyway, Calafia, Warshawitzi, love her so much. I think this is also commonly referred to as the jungle velvet Calafia, and I love her. She is so velvety. Again, I love a textured plant. This is growing in semi-hydro now, and so far, so good. I am loving her. She's constantly growing. She's quite far from the grow lights, but I mean, she seems to be happy, so that makes me happy as well. Next to her, we have another one of my faves, which is my Alocasia Platinum, and I love her. I don't know why this new leaf is kind of janky. Also, this leaf got a little bit damaged. I think this is probably edema, but yeah, anyway, that doesn't matter. She's lovely, she's stunning, I absolutely love her. This is such a fast, reliable grower. I got this as a tiny little plug plant, and now she is this massive bushy plant. She really doesn't yellow her leaves, she doesn't cycle her leaves, she's not too fussy or too finicky. I grow this just in regular soil, and I love her. I mean, the silveriness, the texture of it, it's just truly such a stunning, breathtaking plant. And Alocasias is just one of those genuses that I really love, although they are a little bit more finicky, but this one is seriously just a walk in the park. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself, and hopefully she won't like go downhill, because yes, I would be very sad if something happened to this plant. Back over here we have my Cebu Blue Puffos, looking absolutely stunning. She is kind of to the side of the grow light, but this is a Puffos, and she does get like the light from this grow light over here, because the vines obviously grow that way, searching for the light. But yes, stunning, beautiful plant, very much a classic, and I very much love her. I haven't always given love and care to this plant. This used to live up here, and I really didn't care for it, if I'm being completely honest. But I was watching one of Kaylee Allen's videos, and she was showcasing her Cebu Blue, and hers looks so luscious and so gorgeous and so stunning. So I was like, oh, I need to put more effort into mine. Like, come on, girly. Over here, we have another plant that I am restarting fresh. This is my Scindapsus exotica. Absolutely love her. Such a reliable, fast, easy care Scindapsus. I used to have a very, very large specimen, but I just chopped her up and restarting her in pawn just because. Why the hell not? And then over here, I have my Hoya wooliniana UT0152. I don't know what that is. Okay, I think this might have spider mites, like, or flat mites. This looks quite flat mitey, right? Right? I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? Is this flat mites? I think she might have flat mites. Let me know in the comment section below, because honestly, I don't have much experience with flat mites. I know that that's a pest that loves to attack Hoyas and that they are quite difficult to get rid of, but oh well. Then moving along, we have my, oh God, okay, I have been filming for half an hour and my brain is already shutting off. This is my Epipremnum pinnatum albo, again another one, and this is just a trailing one. I also have this one growing in pawn, and this is actually the mother plant of my climbing one. Next to her, we have another one of my faves, which is my Inferium pallidiflorum, and I'm so excited to grow her, and I'm just so excited. Obviously, she's still a baby plant, but can you just imagine like a large pallidiflorum leaf hanging down here? Like, that would just be, oh, that would be so stunning and so gorgeous. So yeah. Another plant that is kind of on a struggle bus, this is my Scindapsus trubii moonlight or moonshine. I never know what this is called. Stunning plant. You can't really see it because it's backlit. Stunning plant, but unfortunately mine is just not looking that great. This is another one that I transitioned from soil to semi-hydro. And like I mentioned, I find that Scindapsus are kind of finicky. So honestly, she took a bit of a nosedive, but I'm sure we will be able to make amends, and I'm sure she will be fine and recover without a single problem. Next to her, we have a Scindapsus pictus. I don't know what species this is. I don't know if it's the Silver Ann or if it's the Argyreus or whatever it is, but honestly, it's just kind of ugly. It's just kind of ugly, and it is pretty much on the to-go pile. I only have this here because it needs a plant here, and it's an okay filler plant, but yeah, if I had to get rid of it, I wouldn't be sad about it. Then over here we have a Hoya SP India, and this was actually a gift from my recent Plantipus order of some other Hoyas, which is really, really nice, and she is actually starting to grow now, which I love. Then we have my Hoya, what are you called? Sulawesiana, Hoya Sulawesiana. I absolutely love this plant, and she finally is starting to grow for me, which I'm so excited about because she hasn't grown for me ever since I got her, but this is such a wish list plant. Absolutely love her. Back here we have yet another little gift plant, Hoya SP Vietnam. She hasn't grown yet, and now I'm kind of like, is this flat mite damage? I don't know. Let me know. Let me know down below. I need to do some more research when it comes to like flat mites, because truly I know nothing. Then over here we have another plant that I got in a recent order. This is my Hoya Eves Rocherai or Eves Rochery, and I am so excited to see this thing grow. I have been inspired to buy this plant by Unplanned Parenthood because she has a stunning, beautiful, lush specimen, and if I can have a specimen that looks like her, I would literally croak. So I am very, very excited for her. Next to her, we have a classic. This is the Hoya compacta, regular grain form, and yeah, just a classic Hoya. I don't think I have to say much about her. She is slowly starting to grow. I will say this is quite a slow growing Hoya, but I love the shape of her. I love the leaves. It just adds something different and cool. Another Scindapsus, which is probably my favorite. This is the Scindapsus Platinum or Silver Hero. I'm not 100% sure, but she is finally starting to grow. I got this as a cutting, and I think the cutting had like 2 or 3 nodes. So, so I chopped it up, and now I am growing it in semi-hydro, and also I need to fill up the water reservoir. But yeah, she is absolutely beautiful. Back here we have another little problem child. This is my Philodendron verrucosum. I am restarting this plant as well from like tiny wet sticks because yeah, I had a nice looking verrucosum, and then it did this shit, which is get attacked by spider mites and thrips and everything under the sun. And this is such a sensitive, finicky plant. So yeah, I'm just growing it in semi-hydro, and we will see how this will go. I don't need like those big, huge leaves. Like I don't need a verrucosum like Sydney Plant Guy has, because I know I'm not gonna be able to grow such a plant in my conditions, and also I don't want to grow this up a moss pole. So I just want to have like a nice, lush little verrucosum. Then over here we have a Anthurium Bessier F crossed with a Papillolaminum, and I don't know, this is the latest leaf, but it has some kind of like yellowing on the edges. I honestly don't know, but oh well, I'm a noob when it comes to Anthuriums. I really don't know much about them, but this is a very, very beautiful plant, and I do hope that it will do good things for me in the upcoming growing season. I'm just growing it in like a chunky aeroid soil. I think there is also some tree fern fiber in here, so yeah, we will see how that will do and how that will work out. Then down here I have my stunning, beautiful Alocasia Dragon Scales. This is just another very reliable staple in my collection. I love her so much. Recently transitioned her to soil, to semi-hydro. She didn't took a single hit. Like this is such a good, hardy Alocasia. Again, if you're looking for a hardy Alocasia, get the Dragon Scales. Honestly, any kind of Alocasia that has like a thicker leaf is a lot more hardy in my opinion. Down here we have my second Calathea in my collection, which is the Calathea ornata. This was one of the first plants that I acquired when I started my plant journey, and boy oh boy, little did I know that Calatheas are an absolute nightmare. So obviously I've struggled with this plant a lot, but I am growing it now in semi-hydro, and so far, so good. Now the newest leaf I can see is having a little bit of a crisping issue. Not sure why, but honestly, I'm not gonna think about it too much. It is a Calathea. Obviously, Calatheas in nature don't look perfect, so I just cannot expect them to look perfect in my home. Then we have another one of my favorites. This is the mother plant of that tiny little Alocasia Friedeck plant. She is massive, and I love her so much. Now, she is kind of in standby mode just because she did bloom recently. And like I mentioned, whenever my Alocasias bloom, I feel like it just sucks all the energy out of them. So she's just taking her sweet ass time to get back on track, but honestly, I don't mind her. Again, another one that I'm growing in semi-hydro, and this was actually the reason why I wanted to move a lot of my plants to semi-hydro, because I just saw how much success I've had with this plant. So I love her very much. And then down here we have a couple more plants. This is my variegated Maranta. Love her. This is probably, again, one of my favorite plants. It's just so bushy. And something very interesting that she has started to do for some reason is give me these kinds of leaves. They are so dark and kind of like purpley. I don't know why. Usually the leaves should be like completely green, so this is kind of like a mystery to me. I don't know, is this like maybe pest related? I really don't see any pests, but honestly, I think this is stunning. Like this kind of coloring is stunning. I don't think it comes off as purple on camera as it does in real life, but truly, truly a beautiful, beautiful Maranta. And again, just gives me no grief. And I love plants that give me no grief. Next to her is a plant that does give me grief. This is my Nigrolaminum GGX Forgetii. I received this again as a huge, beautiful plant, and it actually held onto its leaves for quite some time, but unfortunately I did notice that it had some root rot and I had to stump it. And then the root system was so miserable and I had to just downsize it quite a lot. And while I was downsizing, I was like, why don't I try it in semi-hydro? So that's what I did. And I really can't see any roots. So I don't know if this thing is happy or not, but she is pushing out some new leaves and they are so red and so stunning. So she must be happy, right? Like if she didn't have any roots and if she wasn't happy, I'm sure she would not be giving me these new beautiful leaves, but only time will tell, only time will tell. Then we have another sad a little Alocasia watsoniana, and I don't think this one will make it, but oh well. And then over here I just have my prop box with some various cuttings and stuff. I'm not gonna go over all of those, but yeah, that exists here and I don't do much to it. Then over here I have this cute little table, and on here I just have a regular snake plant. Love them so much, such a great filler plant. And then moving on, in front of my lovely yellow chair, I have my collection of beautiful monsteras. So this is my large, or this is not the large form, this is the small form. It's not the deliciosa. Somebody corrected me in my last plant tour. I called this a deliciosa, and apparently this is a B something. I don't know. I don't care. It's a monstera. Like, we love them. They are gorgeous. They are stunning. This is quite a big leaf, so I am very, very happy. She is so bushy, so beautiful. Currently struggling with thrips, but honestly, I assume that all my monsteras always have thrips, so nothing new there. But moving along, we have my favorite plant in my whole collection. This was a gift from a dear friend of mine for my birthday, I believe 2 years ago now. Bless her heart. This is back when these plants weren't super expensive, but they weren't also super available and cheap like they are right now. But it is just a stunning plant. I love my specimen. The variegation on it is stunning. The size of it is beautiful. And I love this plant so much. But unfortunately, another one that thrips just adore. And the thing with having thrips on a Monstera Thai constellation is that they are very hard to spot, because obviously the plant itself is very like spotty and speckled, and you know, the thrips are basically the same color as the variegation. So I don't even check this plant for thrips. I just assume that it always has thrips, and I just always try to shower it. I try to shower this thing at least like once every other week. Sometimes I forget, I'm not gonna lie, but I try my best. I try my best because I really want to keep this plant looking nice and beautiful, because not only is it a gorgeous plant, it holds so much sentimental value to me, but she is kind of growing out of hand. Like you can see, she is quite freaking long, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with her because she is quite top heavy. She likes to flop over, so I don't know, at some point I will have to chop her, but ooh, I'm scared. I'm very scared. And then over here we have a plant that we actually repotted in my latest video. This is my Philodendron El Guapo, SP Silver, SP Columbia, whatever you want to call this. She is stunning, she is gorgeous, she is beautiful, but I find that finding a good spot for this plant can be quite difficult, because if you give it too much light, it will do this kind of crap and it will just bleach and look ugly. But if you don't give it enough light, then it won't grow and give you these beautiful pillowy leaves. I absolutely love the texture of these leaves. They are so pillowy, so soft, just they just look so juicy and just so nice, and I love it. I do have this beam that goes across my studio, and this area doesn't really get a lot of light, so I just have two little filler plants. This is my Rhaphidophora decursiva, and then over there I just have a regular golden pothos. So I'm not gonna waste too much time on them, but they are there just to add a little bit of greenery. Then over here we have a calyx unit. I love this color, like it's so stunning, but it gets very dusty very easily. Up here we have a Aglaonema Maria. Aglaonemas are just such a easy care, lovely plant. I love them very much. I love the coloring of them. I love the texture. I love how bushy they are. They are very low maintenance. They don't require a lot of light. They are very drought tolerant. I never have any pest issues on them, so love her very much. Another little golden pothos that I have over here, just as a little filler plant, and once this starts trailing over here, I think it will look very beautiful. Then in this little cubby, I have a string of pearls, another plant that I mostly have as kind of like a filler plant. It's not a plant that I'm in love with, but it is here, and it is in a very cute like face planter. Back here we have a rabbit's foot fern. Really love just the texture it adds to this little corner. It just adds something a little bit more fun, a little bit more different. I think playing around with textures and having a lot of like different types of leaves and plants is really gonna add to your plant aesthetic. Obviously, there is nothing wrong with having like just one type of plant, for example, like just anthuriums, but in my opinion, it can get a little bit boring and repetitive. So I do like plants like this that just break up the monotony a little bit. And then down here we have a bit of a drama queen, not necessarily drama queen, but it is a plant that constantly has some sort of pest, whether that be spider mites or thrips. This is my Maranta lemon lime, but I do love her very much. She does have a bit of a damage over here on these leaves because this grow light fell, and these are 5-watt Barina grow lights. So yeah, these are perfect for this area. This is not a plant that requires a lot of light, but I do find that if I keep this in a very dark spot, it just won't grow at all. So yeah, I think it's great for this spot, and I like to keep it here a little bit isolated because it is quite a spider mite magnet. Back here in another cloche situation, I have a Philodendron melanochrysum. Again, a difficult plant for me that I'm trying to regrow and restart. And the thing is, I could probably buy a mature specimen for like $30 and, you know, have a beautiful plant, because I know that these plants are very hard to size up and mature from their juvenile state. But first of all, I'm greedy and don't want to spend my money, and second of all, I love a challenge. So yeah, challenge accepted, bitch. We will see though what I will do with that plant. Right now she is just growing in pond, and I'm just waiting for her to develop a good root system. Over here we have my bird of paradise, and this is quite a big plant, and honestly I always struggled with where to put this plant because again, this is a plant that requires a lot of light. Like, this is a plant that you can't put in a dark corner because otherwise it will just be miserable. However, I have this large IKEA lamp, and I have a CNC 36-watt light bulb in here, and that light bulb is bright, y'all. That light bulb is bright, and as you can see, she is actually growing, which is great. And mind you, this is the only light source that this plant has because both the windows are very far away from her, but she is beautiful. She is living her best life. Not like a plant that I am in love with, but I feel like the bird of paradise is just a standard in any plant parent's collection. It just adds that really cool jungly vibe. Then over here we have some starter plants on moss poles in front of a Mother 32 watt plant spectrum grow light. I always forget what this thing is called. You know, it should be called the wobbly grow light because it loves to wobble, and good God, I have knocked this thing over so many times. Good thing the construction is sturdy, so I haven't broken it yet, but my God, this thing is so unstable, which is ridiculous considering the price it costs. But anyways, it does provide my plants with good light. So we have a cutie little Mandula pothos. I used to have a really beautiful lush Mandula pothos, but I restarted it and then I kind of struggled with it. And now I'm growing it in moss. Now I'm growing it in semi-hydro. And so far so good. Fingers crossed that this trajectory continues. Down here we have my Epipremnum pinnatum marble. Absolutely love her. Not much to say about her. She is still a baby, but I do really love the variegation on her and the marbliness. This is definitely a slower grower and it does love to revert. And I can see that this leaf over here is kind of starting to revert, and honestly, I don't know, if this reverts, I will probably just chuck it. I mean, I'll try to grow back the variegation, but yeah, I'm not a fan of plants with unstable variegation. And then down here we have another newer addition to my collection, still very much a baby, but growing steadily. And that is my Philodendron Majestic, which is a hybrid of the Soderoy and Veracosum. And as you saw, I have a pretty good time growing the Soderoy, not so much the Veracosum, but apparently this is also a pretty easy hybrid. So we will see. I am just growing this in soil on a moss pole, and I don't know, only time will tell how things will turn out, but these are very gorgeous. They have a really nice sheen. But yeah, on the whole, I am very picky and selective with the philodendrons that I keep in my collection because they just are such thrip magnets. I'm fine with pests. It's just part of the hobby, and when you have like a large collection, it's just something that you always gotta be prepared for, but it still isn't fun, and I don't like it. So yeah, I'm trying to limit the number of pest-prone plants in my collection. My voice is already dying. You can really tell that I work from home and that I don't really communicate verbally a lot because most of my days are spent in silence. So when I have to talk for like a long period of time, my voice hates me so much. But anyway, moving on to this little zone. So this is next to my workstation. This is where I spend the majority of my time. I work from home. I'm a digital artist by profession, so that's why I have this thing. This is a Cintiq, a drawing tablet. Anyway, that doesn't matter. What matters are the plants. And this is a west-facing window, so it receives really good light during the summer season. And I just love this little vignette over here, like just the way this looks and the way this is set up. I absolutely adore it. Over here we have a pothos, again, regular golden pothos. These two are fake, obviously, but yes, I just love the way it trails on the side of this shelf. Love me a good trailing pothos. This does need water though, so I need to remember to water her afterwards. Over here we have some Rhaphidophora tetrasperma cuttings that I'm rooting in water. This used to live over here and I had it climbing up here, but obviously this spot doesn't get a lot of light, so with time she just started to look very scraggly, not cute, so I decided to hack her up and reroot her. Then over here we have my Begonia albopicta growing like an absolute beast. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this plant. Like I need to figure out, oh Jesus, she got caught, there we go. I need to figure out like a better trellising situation. Right now she's just supported with a acrylic stake, but yeah, really beautiful, stunning, very fast growing a begonia. Again, I'm not really the biggest begonia fan, and this is not like my favorite plant ever, but I do love how she looks in that spot. Over here we have my beautiful asparagus fern. I love her so much. She is such a beautiful whimsical plant. And again, going back to the texture thing, just if I had like another like leafy plant over here, it would look kind of boring, but this kind of like different texture, just it breaks it up and it gives it a little bit more character and whimsy, and I absolutely love plants like this. This literally feels like a cloud, but she does have a couple of spikes. So if you don't know, these plants do have spikes, so please be careful. Over here we have one of my favorite plants of all time. This is my Hoya Sumatra, this is my Hoya Caudata Sumatra. I think, yeah. She is stunning. I love her. This is her newest leaf. Look at that color. It is absolutely beautiful. And I mean, the blooms on this thing, if this thing ever blooms for me, I would literally I would catapult myself into space and I would just incinerate, because I freaking, I love a fuzzy Hoya bloom. So yeah, very excited for her. Over here we have a regular green Alocasia michelitziana, looking stunning, gorgeous. I featured this in a video where I talked about plants that I'm struggling with, and happy to update, we're no longer struggling. Well, maybe a little bit, but we are definitely on the mend. She is growing in semi-hydro and doing fine. She's actually pushing out a brand new leaf after she was blooming, so I'm excited to see a brand new leaf. And this leaf came out at the same time that the bloom was coming out, so that's why I think it's a little bit janky. But yeah, beautiful velvety plant. A little bit more difficult, and surprisingly more difficult than its variegated sister, which usually isn't the case. Usually the regular green varieties are very hardy and like easy care, while the variegated ones are a pain in the booty hole. But in the Alocasia michelitziana case, it's actually reverse. Over here we have another one of my favorites, and a plant that I'm so excited to grow this season. This is my Hoya Wilbur Graves Silver. This has been on my wish list for quite a bit, but these are still expensive, and I paid for this 2-leaf cutting $50 or $60, which I know for some people that's like nothing, but for me that's a lot. Okay, I don't like spending more than like $40 on a plant, 30 even. So to me that's a lot. To me that was an investment, but I am very happy with her. She is rooted. I am growing her in semi-hydro, but so far no growth points yet, but I am rooting for her. I'm rooting that she will start growing soon. And then a plant or a Hoya that I absolutely love, and that is growing like a beast. This is my Hoya pubicalyx. I absolutely love her. She is so splashy. Like, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Such a fast growing Hoya. I received this as like a tiny plant, and like she just took over. I have 2 clear arch trellises on her, and she is taking over, growing like a freaking beast, and I love her. Like, I constantly talk about this Hoya because I love her so much, and Hoyas are definitely like my favorite genus. Back in the day, I didn't understand why people were loving Hoyas. I thought they were kind of boring and like whatever, but I am a Hoya head now, and I get it. Like, I love Hoyas, and honestly, I would like to add a lot more Hoyas into my collection, and I just hit my mic. I'm so sorry. I just love them so much. Another Hoya. This is kind of a Hoya section here, so yeah, there's a lot of Hoyas here. This is my New Guinea Ghost, another one that is kind of a baby that I received sometime last year, but she is gaining in size. Look at this leaf. It's so stunning. It's so beautiful, so silvery. Absolutely love her. This has been on my wish list for quite a long time. These are so beautiful when sun stressed, and I just wasn't able to find them over here in Croatia or Europe, but I discovered Plantopus, which is a store in Germany that prioritizes or that specializes in Hoyas specifically, and they have just the most beautiful Hoyas ever, and I love their store very, very much. Over here, this is a cute little IKEA plant display stand thingy, and I only have 2 plants on here. Usually you can fit 3, but like, I don't know, I don't have a plant for over here, and I like how it looks with just these 2, and these 2 are some of my favorite plants. This over here is my Sansevieria Dracaena snake plant, Metallica. I absolutely love her. I also talk about this plant all the time. I know Sansevierias get a rap for being boring and slow growing, but honestly, the Metallica is absolutely stunning, and it's a snake plant, so I literally don't need to do anything with this plant, but it looks so beautiful, so sculptural. I love this leaf in particular. It's so long, it's so like, it's literally a sword, and I just love the color of it. Again, silver, you can see a pattern, but absolutely love her. And next to her, we have my Lux Mag hybrid. Now, she does have a thrips treatment on her, as you can probably tell. So this leaf is the latest leaf, and it was unfurling or inflating, sizing up, whatever. And I noticed that it was kind of looking yellow and pale, and you can tell that that the venation is very, very pale and yellow. And upon further inspection, I noticed that this thing was covered in thrips. Like, they were all over these tiny veins. They were like literally everywhere. It was so freaking disgusting, so disgusting. And I never had any issues with thrips on this plant. So honestly, I wasn't expecting it. I really don't pay any attention to this plant. It is quite a slow growing plant, but yeah, I saw the thrips and I was like, oh no. Ew. But yeah, I treated her, and how I like to treat thrips is with a pesticide, and a pesticide that lasts. There are pesticides that leave some sort of film, and in this case, this pesticide leaves these like little dots. So when the thrips emerge, they start eating the little like specks over here, and then they instantly die. But yeah, you can tell the veins are not supposed to be that like bright yellow color. They're supposed to be more like this green color. So yeah, and I also did chop quite a few of the lower leaves just because they weren't looking good, and they also had thrips on them. So I was like, okay, no, I'm not dealing with that. And I mean, she's still gorgeous and big, and I feel like anthuriums are great because even if you like hack them up and only leave like a single leaf on them, they can still look absolutely beautiful. Down here we have just basically a little filler plant. This is my Aglaonema Diamond Bay. Again, an Aglaonema, super, super low maintenance. This is so bushy, like it is a literal bush, but I love her so much. Requires nothing from me, literally nothing. And it looks beautiful. Okay, my brother called me, so I got interrupted. I'm not sure where I left off, but Aglaonema Diamond Bay, love her. Another plant that I absolutely love is my Ficus benjamina. I'm so sorry, my brain is literally not functioning, and sometimes I have a really, really hard time thinking of names, but this is also commonly known as the weeping fig, I think. Love her so, so much. I know a lot of people actually have trouble growing this plant, and they say that there's drops leaves all the time. And I will say there was a period in time where mine was dropping leaves like hotcakes, but I find that this is just one of those plants that you need to put it in a spot, find a spot that it likes, and just leave it there. So I have it here, and this is not a bright spot, y'all, okay? This is, the west window is over here, but this whole portion down here is pretty much in darkness, but she is still growing, looking absolutely stunning, beautiful, so bushy, and I just love her so much. She just adds, again, so much texture, whimsy. It's a tree, so it's just really, really cool, and I love it. And I love the fact that I can grow this indoors. I mean, that is crazy. And again, it's not a plant that I do much with, like I water it when I remember. I do try to also shower this girly pretty regularly, just because I do find that it is a bit of it is prone to spider mites. So yeah, but other than that, absolutely love her. And then over here we have the last Hoya on this little shelf, which is my Hoya latifolia pot of gold. Absolutely love her. This is a recent addition as well. I think I ordered this again somewhere in the fall last year, but she has been steadily growing and I love her. And you can actually see that down here, some of these vines did revert. These are like the old original leaves, but all the leaves grown in my care have that stunning, beautiful stripe of variegation. And I absolutely love this plant so much, but she will need a trellis upgrade quite soon. So yeah, that is probably also another thing that we will be doing in a future video. Hope you're enjoying the plant tour so far, and if you are, please hit that like button down below. It would help me out very much. Moving along, we have my Alocasia Regal Shields, another one of my favorites. I absolutely love this plant. It is so dark, it is so gorgeous. The venation on it is stunning, the size of it is stunning. This is supported only by a 15-watt Scentsy grow light, so honestly, that is not a lot of light for such a big plant, and she is doing amazing and I love her. Obviously these can get a lot more bushier, a lot more bigger, but again, I'm not giving it a ton of light, and she's gorgeous. Usually she has like 4 to 6 leaves at a time, and she does cycle the old leaves once a new one does emerge, but I don't mind. It's such a beautiful plant. Next to her we have a plant that, honestly, this plant is here as a filler plant, and it's just kind of awaiting the day that it meets its creator, because it's not one of my favorite plants. It is the Syngonium Mojito. I don't know, it's pretty, I guess, but I'm just not a fan of Syngoniums, and on the whole, like they just don't do it for me. Like they don't hit anything, and yeah, but I mean, it is a pretty plant. It's quite a large plant, so I like having it here pretty much in darkness. And yeah, I'll just keep her here until she like croaks or something. Then moving on, along here is a plant that also lives in pretty much darkness, but this is a plant that I love with my whole heart, and this is the Aglaonema Silver Bay, another plant that I talk about all the freaking time, because truly it is one of my favorites. I love her so much, and again, just such a easy, reliable plant. This is quite far from that west-facing window, as you can see, and she constantly grows. I mean, at a slower rate, obviously, but she doesn't lose any leaves. She looks gorgeous. I love how all of her leaves are kind of facing downwards, so it just creates a really cool, lush display, and I think it just looks really nice. And then over here we have just a filler plant, Peace Lily. Not gonna talk much about it, pretty much a filler plant. And then over here we have another little struggling diva-licious diva. This is my Schismatoglottis Wallichii, or as I like to call it, Waluigi. And this plant is a struggle plant. I'm not gonna lie to you. I talked about this plant in my video where I talked about nightmare plants, and this plant is a nightmare because it constantly has spider mites. It is very thirsty, very dramatic when it dries out. And yeah, I keep this pretty much isolated on this shelf by itself just because it always has spider mites. There has not been one time that this plant didn't have spider mites, so honestly, I just like keeping it separate and isolated, but it is a very beautiful plant. I also recently moved this to semi-hydro in hopes that I can kind of curb her thirst and hopefully avoid her drooping all the time on me, but she is blooming, as you can see. And like I mentioned earlier, I hate when my plants or my aeroids bloom. I love it when my Hoyas bloom, but see, that's the fun part about it. My aeroids and the plants that I don't want to bloom, always bloom, but plants like Hoyas that I really do want to see them bloom, they never bloom. I have another shelf over here that has some grow lights. These are also Barina 5 watts, but right now I'm not growing anything down here just because I don't have a need for this space, but I do have those grow lights still there just in case. And then moving on over here, we have a marble pothos that is pretty much reverted, but again, just a cute little filler plant. I love how it looks just trailing there on the side of my TV console and just adds a little bit more of a naturey vibe. And I love watching TV, but it is like a black box. So obviously just having some greenery around it kind of makes it look less harsh in my opinion. And then over here, I actually have a cutting of that Syngonium mojito, but I'm not doing anything with it. I'm just growing it in water, my little aquarium over here. And then over here, I just have a ZZ plant and a Calathea rattlesnake Calathea. Very easy care, low maintenance plants. This is again quite a dark spot, but I think they just look gorgeous and add a little bit of greenery. And I love that. I love that very, very much. And then we're finally in the last section, which is over here in my little coffee station area. This is a Dracaena fireflies, I think. Yes, I think so. Very, very beautiful little speckling on the leaves. But this is a plant that I really don't do much with. It's a plant that lives pretty much in a very, very low light spot. And yeah, I water this very, very rarely. I don't do much about it. I don't care for it a lot, but it's just a nice little filler plant. Over here we have my philodendron ring of fire pushing out a new leaf. This is kind of a plant that I have a love-hate relationship with because I do think it's like a cool plant, especially when it's like very variegated. Unfortunately, mine isn't the most variegated specimen, which does suck. But my issue with this plant is that it has such a large like wingspan, and it requires a lot of space. So yeah, I don't know how long I will keep this plant, but for now, she can stay. She is cute. She is growing. And then next to her, we have a philodendron gloriosum, and I love the gloriosum. I think the gloriosum is just such a cool staple plant, but mine is, I wouldn't say it's struggling. It's just kind of like, it's very slow growing. It doesn't do much for me most of the time. It's not really sizing up. And yeah, I don't know. It's not my favorite plant, but I think the potential of this plant is really, really cool. And I'm just hoping that one day she will like burst into action and just start giving me huge leaves. But I have also been thinking of maybe moving this plant to semi-hydro, because I know Plants by Melissa was talking about how she had struggled growing this plant in soil, and then once she moved it to semi-hydro, she had a lot easier of a time. And honestly, whatever that girlie says, I will do, because her plant collection is absolutely amazing. We are in my bedroom now, and the first bedroom plant is the Aglaonema cutlass. This is one of my first Aglaonemas that I ever got, and it is such a beautiful plant. I love these elongated skinny leaves so much. Very resilient. In my bedroom, I only have a north-facing window, so this doesn't get like a ton of light. I know it looks quite bright on camera, but trust me, in person, it doesn't get like a lot of light. But it is a very beautiful plant. I neglect this thing quite a lot. I'm not gonna even lie to y'all, but she's doing amazing, and I just love having a pop of greenery next to my bed. This is on my nightstand, so yeah, just love her so much. And then this over here is kind of the last planty zone. I have two of these IKEA plant displays in front of my north-facing windows. These are pretty big windows, and there is no obstructions in front of them, so they do get a decent amount of light. And obviously these curtains are usually open, but again, I didn't want a lot of backlight, and the plants are usually facing towards the window. But first up, we have my Epipremnum gigantea medium, and truly she lives up to her name, because look at that. This leaf is literally almost as big as my forearm. And listen, I'm not a small boy. Oh, don't look at the mess. Don't look at my mess. Anyway, I'm not a small boy. So yeah, this plant is pretty freaking big. I'm not gonna say it's like my favorite. It's really nothing too remarkable, but it is a good grower and it is quite a lush big plant. So yeah, love her very, very much. Over here we have a plant that I used to struggle with quite a bit, but we finally turned a leaf and she is looking stunning. Look at that. This is my Philodendron mame, also known as the silver cloud. I always used to call this the silver pain in my ass, because honestly it is quite a difficult plant in my opinion. It is very prone to spider mites, very prone to thrips, and also is quite thirsty. But ever since moving her to semi-hydro, I have been having a lot more success with her. So yeah, right now I'm loving her, and I really hope that she will continue giving me these beautiful, stunning big leaves, because the coloration on her, the silver splotchiness, is really, really beautiful. Over here we have another plant that used to be quite big and that I chopped up again sometime in the fall. This is my Monstera Stendaliana albo, and she was growing on a very big wire moss pole, but it was just very unstable. It wasn't looking cute, so I decided to chop her up, reroot her, and now she is, you know, she's doing good. She is starting to grow. Still pretty small. Again, kind of like more of a filler plant, but I do have a bit of a sentimental attachment to this plant, so I don't want to get rid of it. But yeah, is it my favorite plant? Probably not. Also, it's still a little bit backlit. Maybe this way you can actually see the leaf color a little bit better. Then next to her we have a Monstera obliqua amazonica, or amazona, I'm not sure. I'll have the name on the screen. This is a type of Monstera obliqua, but it's a bit different. It can get a bit bigger, I believe, and the whole structure is a bit different. I don't know, I just saw this on Plantopus's site when I was ordering some Hoyas, and it was pretty affordable, and I was like, okay, let me get it. Apparently, this is a plant that does like to run, so I don't know how much success I will have with it. It hasn't started growing as of yet, but it does have a little growth point, so I don't know. We will see. Growing this in semi-hydro, and yeah, we will just see what time will bring. Then over here we have another struggle plant. This is my Monstera adansonii, a plant that I really love, but that does not love me back. It often gets these like yellow spots on the leaves, and it never just, like, this is the newest leaf and it's already yellow. Like, that's not cute. And I don't see any pests on her. I did have thrips on her for quite some time, but I did eradicate them. And yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. It's a really beautiful plant, and I really want to grow it to be large and mature like so many other people already have. I mean, I love when I see this plant like large and in charge in other people's collections. So I don't know. I try to keep up with watering this plant, fertilizing it. She lives in soil, she's rooted, she's on a moss pole, so I really don't know what her business or what her issue is, but honestly, if this thing continues to act like this, I will probably just get rid of it and replace it with a Monstera esqueleto, because that is another plant that I would really like to have in my collection, and it gives pretty much the same vibe, but just like in a bigger format. So I think I would really like the Monstera esqueleto. And then moving along, this is the last plant of this plant tour. This is my Philodendron esmeraldense. She is also still quite a bit of a baby, giving me a new leaf over here. But honestly, I love this leaf color. The emergent leaf is stunning. This is not the easiest philodendron. I will say it is a pest magnet. Leaves get stuck easily, and it isn't easy. I will say that. And I also know that these have like petioles that are a mile long. Like you can see, this is still a baby, and look at how freaking huge the petiole already is. Like, it's almost twice the size of the leaf itself. So yeah, not the easiest plant in the world, but I love her so much, and I'm excited to see how she will do in my care, and hopefully I can get a mature specimen. Again, I also know that these are quite slow growing, so I don't know. We will see, but I am excited for her and excited to see how she will do in this growing season. So that was a lot of talking, and honestly, my voice is busted, and I also got a bit of a heartburn. Crazy. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and turn on the notification button so you're notified about every new video. Let me know in the comment section below which of my plants was your favorite, and if you enjoyed this plant tour. I will be sure to make a follow-up video, a follow-up plant tour at the end of the growing season to see how my plants did. I think it will be really, really exciting, so please stick around for that. But until next time, I hope you have a super amazing, fabulous day, and goodbye!